But it's also very brave because I remember early in my career ending a few projects because I was physically afraid for my safety. And so that you're showing other women that it's okay to tell your story. But what I want to know is what you're learning about these things, because you're finding it very important to go on this journey, which I love.
Mhm.
But what would you say you're learning? Like, report to us from the inside
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
second.
sure. Gosh, so many things. I think that when you go to these more niche spaces, there's a level of awareness around communication, consent, boundaries, feeling for yourself, like your own boundaries that we, I guess, in the mainstream don't discuss. So when we talk about consent, people think, oh my God, Me Too movement. And okay, yes, she said yes. Versus to me, when I enter these more niche spaces, we really unpack what does consent look like, at what and how sexy it can be. How
Mhm.
you can have a conversation with somebody and they say, okay, like my boundary is I want you to like lightly stroke my thigh and then your hand can hover above my penis, but I don't want like touch.
Mm.
And you're like, oh, I didn't even think about something that like specific. And then
Yeah.
it gets you thinking like, where is my actual boundary? Because we're so used to saying yes, no,
Black
and
and white. Yeah.
black and white when there's all this grayness. Another thing that I recently learned is these temple nights in Tantra, they ask you sometimes mid play, and you don't need to be playing, but mid experience, are you still where you want to be? Because maybe you don't want to be in the same place that you did 1 minute ago or where you want to be in 1 minute. And just constantly having these check ins that these spaces have taught me the most is how to communicate boundaries, desire, and also how to connect better with myself to really feel in to me, even if I need to take a beat and come back to it. What is it that I really want?
Yeah.
Where is my boundary and am I being honest with the other person? Because when I overstep my own boundaries, even though it's not the other person's fault, that's also not nice to them. Like, that's
Yep.
also a disservice to the other person because they think you're enjoying yourself when you're really not. And so I've learned so much from these spaces.
This goes way beyond sex, right?
Oh,
Th-
yeah. This is
th- this is cultural. This is in your everyday life. This changes your perception. Like I said, it changes my perception of the entire world economy. Like
completely.
this, again, these themes you get to explore because it's such an extreme, it's not extreme. We find it extreme, but it's not extreme. It's actually rather, it's a, it's a transpersonal experience that helps you learn about yourself. And that's why it makes me sad that these words and these experiences are so taboo, but why I love that you're pulling them through in your cartoons because we can talk about them. Like what is the most, well, maybe pull that through to being an international person. So you're living abroad now,
Almost 10. Yeah.
almost 10. Yes. We're about the same. And I feel like what I can apply through these themes, communication, culture, I find them like I find having a visa very dom sub. You know what I mean? Like I find these themes pull through for me in international living. And so how have you explored that at all? I'm just curious.
I haven't, but I love that. And I mean, I'm in an incredibly privileged position to be here. I was able to get a Polish passport, but I know so many people that are trying to stay in the Netherlands, for instance, or trying to move, and they're definitely in a dom sub relationship with the government. But indeed, into how these, similar to what you were saying about finance, how these themes that people are so afraid of talking about transcend into every relationship dynamic we have, career, like it's all in our interpersonal dynamics.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think what your work does is brings it out into the open, and maybe we'll start using different words, but I really think, not to be too dramatic about it, but I think these types of things can really change the world a bit. They can shift the world a little bit just because we can talk about it through a cartoon, right? But what I know from your work more broadly, your community, is that you really are living this, what you're giving to us. And so why do you think it's so important for you, for yourself, and for maybe your mission in life right now? Because I think you find this is one of the things you're supposed to do here, right? When you've opened yourself up to a lot of different spaces. So becoming sex educator, one of the sex educator of the year, or these things. What is it, do you think, that is emerging for you when you go into these spaces? Are you finding more safety in the world? Are you expressing different parts of yourself? Are you exploring different themes? Is there something? Sorry, I'm asking you such deep questions, but
Yeah.
I think you
No,
can do
this
it.
is great. Yeah. Yeah, I think I am finally becoming the woman I was meant to be and the woman that wouldn't that would be if if she didn't grow up, you know, learning to feel shame due to society, due to my lived experiences. And I think that we are, that we're all born into this world free from shame, but along the way, we dim our light, we learn to make ourselves smaller, we stop communicating, and this permeates everything. This shows up in how we do our job. This shows up in what we believe we should, you know, how far we can go in life. And it just makes me so sad that nothing we feel is in isolation and we all feel it. And nobody's talking about it. We are all, I have thousands of people that share their stories with me and thousands of others that share the same story with me. So if it's so beautiful to realize that what you are going through alone, you're not so special after all. You're not going through it alone. All of us are going through something. And if we just talked about it more, we would be able to live so much more confidently because it loses its power in conversations and it loses its power in openness.
Yep.
And I think that's what my mission is. And I think through Vanilla Cool Dance, she started as a very aspirational character of mine and a part of me. And I think the longer I live with her and draw her and experience this, is I get to embody what I share with the world, and I become. We start to merge, and we were not always like that. And now my character and myself have really started to find one another in the past 5 years, 4 years.
Wow. Very, you're a method actor.
Yeah, I'm method drawing.
You're method drawing. No, I love it. That's perfect. Well, and I think all art is an expression of a part of ourself. And so
Mm,
it's cool to have that be a person. Well, it's personified for you, I
yeah.
guess. And so when you're drawing, you're pretty, like, it's pretty clear that you've had either an experience like it or a series of experiences like it. Has anyone you're dating ever approached you and been like, hey, too close?
Like, not sure what you're drawing here. Like, not
Yeah.
sure I'm into
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Have they been like,
Yeah.
hey, you can't draw that? Or have they
Yeah.
been like, that looks too much like me? Or has there ever been an experience like that?
Not like that. Luckily, my two, like, last boyfriends have both been amazing and super supportive and always would brainstorm with me even. So they would come up with ideas with me. I think it would be different if they it was one for one, but my male characters, especially, like, besides skin color and hair color, they have the kind of the same face. So
Yeah. Okay.
it's more anonymous. So I felt very supported by them. Recently I had a situation where I felt very uncomfortable and dismissed when meeting somebody's family. And he made me feel very uncomfortable whether or not he intended to with the work I do. So that was an unfortunate experience, but I think this will always be a part of me. And obviously, when I meet the right person, how much of we share of our personal life is very open for discussion. But to be able to draw and process through art, that's something that I definitely want to keep.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And it's actually a really, I mean, maybe you feel this. I felt this as being an artist, as a woman, and being kind of more public about my life, is it's not just my story. As a woman, it's never just your story.
Yeah,
So the heroine's journey, in my opinion, is a community story.
yeah,
So
I
whenever
agree.
so whenever I'm telling my story, it's also my husband of 22 years' story. It's my kid's story. And so I always, maybe I'm too sensitive about it, but I'm always editing very creatively what I tell and what I don't tell. And so I think it's really, I would love if you would keep, I would love to see Vanillacooldance Dance's take on motherhood, on,
Mm.
like aging, on, I hope you keep her with you as you go throughout your life. And you're younger than I am, but this level of bravery, in my opinion, is needed in women's stories. And so I
Mm.
love that you're sharing it. So if I can give you that reflection, it's not easy. And my partner and I did this with the TED Talk because it was his story too, because we've been
Yeah.
together so long. And that's a very tender process, I would say, with women's stories. And so I hope you keep doing it even past wherever life takes you. I hope you keep commenting and letting us in and softening and giving us these insights because they're invaluable.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed our show. For the latest insights on living internationally, join us at houseofperegrine.com to find out how you can connect with our community. Let's craft our life story with intention together.